Welcome back, everyone. Our next session is on application of composites in disability products, presented by Professor Sham Gurav, who is one of the professor at Ahmedabad University teaching practice of applied sciences, and he has founded a startup that works for developing innovative products for disabled people. Over to you, Professor Sham Gurav.
Yes. होने के बाद आप वो शुरू करते हैं। Good afternoon. As was explained, I have a startup. I'm a faculty at Ahmedabad University, and I founded this startup, Jago Motion. Its aim is to provide mobility solutions for disabled people. So our aim is to basically reach every disabled person in the world. Its startup is in a small town in Maharashtra, Sangli. We did it with the aim that we can create employment for other than the metropolitan cities. It's a challenge. I will bring all the challenges that I face as a startup and as a technology. Our aim is to provide solutions for disabled people in the form of mobility solutions. Those solutions should be affordable to disabled people, and our aim is to create employment for disabled people by means of those solutions. Just to give you, many of us have seen disability in one form or another at their home or outside nearby. I mean, I have seen it firsthand with my mother. I mean, my mother was paralyzed and I was with her, and that was the moment of enlightenment for me, that there was no solution appropriate, for her, and then I could give her a good time in her last years, and that was the time I thought that something needs to be done. That doesn't mean that there is nobody who is doing anything. There are people, there are a lot of NGOs, there are a lot of companies who are doing a lot of work, but it's still not enough. Just to give you an idea on what disability is, still I want to touch. So disability, it can happen at birth, like cerebral palsy and different types of diseases with ear, eyes, or the physical disabilities. Then old age is everybody connects to. Old age, like these days, diabetes and other reasons are becoming very, very prominent. Paralysis is becoming very common. Then accidents, everybody knows the traffic and we crib about accidents, every day. So accidents is a big thing, and especially because the young generation gets affected by accidents. They have to live many years and they get affected in the early age. They don't know how to go in this very turbulent traffic. And of course, diseases, other than these diseases, there are other diseases. The people need to go through amputation. What I spoke to many people. I mean, I saw in my home, I saw neighbors, I spoke to firsthand. Last 4 years I've been working. But 4 years, very consciously I was meeting people, talking to them. What I saw is their mobility is restricted, so they don't move. They're at the home. They're not going out. They're not going to the social things. They're not going to the parties, events. They're restricted. People are also they don't feel shame in leaving them at home. They themselves don't feel that they need to go out. So the mobility of disabled people is severely restricted. And this is influencing their expected lifespan. So people who get severely affected by disability, their life comes down drastically. I mean, somebody who gets a paralysis survives, my mother survived, I think, 7 years by doing a lot of efforts. I have seen people surviving 10 years at max, I mean, I'm not claiming anything. Please don't misunderstand me. This is a general data which I collected and trying to interpret it. So my finding is mobility is at the heart of their life expectancy. They need to be mobile, they need to move out, and that's where I decided to, target, work on. So just to give you some data on what kind of disability happens due to what cause. So you just see the numbers there, and these are not really well accounted. The list that I get from the district administration is even not more than 20%. 80% are unaccounted people who are getting amputations and so many diseases and gangrene and so on. So the accounted data is this, and which is quite significant, contrary to the solutions available. So if you see 5.4 million leg amputees every year, about 1 lakh leg amputations, cerebral palsy, 3 out of 1,000 newborns. I mean, polio, we are fortunate to, overcome it significantly, but we still have to look at other things. Arthritis is one of the common accidents, as I said, spinal cord. I mean, a lot of working professionals, they're facing difficulties with back injuries, and then it's slowly going down to hip bones, knees, so they're not able to walk. Eventually, they give up on their job. So it's happening. So it's coming to your doorstep, it's because of the work environment we live in, the pressure that we live in, and the unhealthy food and the exercise and the many things. But the effect is that this number is growing. The gap that I see is there are a lot of NGOs in India, and I'm really grateful to them as a disability partner that they're doing fantastic. I mean, I will talk about some companies who are doing great work, but there are so many NGOs. Government is putting a lot of money. It's not that government is doing nothing. Government is doing lot of things. So where there is a lack of reaching out to disabled people, there are companies also. So what I found is NGOs, they usually tap the CSR funding. Then money is distributed in some existing solutions, and that reaches to disabled people in whatever the company produces. So there is no drive. The company is not directly connecting to the customer here. So if we're talking about a cell phone, if somebody has to innovate a cell phone, he has to worry about the customer, like what customer wants and how my cell phone will be sold as compared to other 10. That doesn't happen when it comes to disability solutions. Companies which are providing these solutions, they are providing it mostly through NGOs or government or CSR. So whatever they have, whatever their limited understanding, of course they work 20, 30 years, but I still call it a limited understanding because a lot of research has to happen in this sector which doesn't happen. They supply it, and the NGOs, which are the in-between party to disability and these companies, they simply take these solutions and provide it. And the disabled people, they get it mostly free. So they are kind of, feeling great about it. I mean, they're not complaining. They're not in position to complain. They're simply accepting what is coming to them as something, gift, which is not true. That's not the aim of the government. And that's where the gap. So this gap needs to be bridged. So somebody has to act like an NGO as well as company as well as, tying up these governments. So this is a huge gap where somebody has to work. And I'm trying to I'm a small, very, very, very tiny micro startup. So this year we're launching our products, just prototypes. So I'm expecting many more startups will come and work in this gap. Second gap which I see is cost versus functionality. So one side, there are beautiful innovations from Europe and US because people afford it. Functionality is better. For example, exoskeleton easily costs more than 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs. In India, it's only people can afford it. In Europe, probably it's a solution that can be easily brought in market, but in India, the moment functionality goes up, the cost also goes up and it doesn't become affordable. So affordability versus functionality and cost is a equation that we need to work on, and a lot of innovation is required. I mean, many of these NGOs, they import things and that causes this cost to go up. So a lot of innovation, there is a scope for innovation. And I'm not talking just a prosthetics or a vehicle, I'm talking in every sector, like eyes, ears, every form of disability. There is a tremendous scope of innovation. And isolated products, I thought, many more startups, I mean, startups take one solution and they go and they face, this is more from a startup point of view, that they face the challenge of, bringing that product and then they get copied by existing players and they don't survive. So startups doing innovations, they're not surviving. So very limited number of startups are entering in this domain because manufacturing intensive. Understanding the customer is a very complex thing here. It's not a very straightforward customer. So somehow startups should come together or somebody should take effort in getting these solutions and sell them under one umbrella. Like a DMart for disability, something like that. So I'm trying to think in this direction. So this is a sort of portfolio we are building. I mean, I will not be able to spend too much of time on showing all these things. I'll just give you a glimpse. Rather, I would like to spend putting things as a challenge, what challenge startups and particularly this sector faces. And then I will end my talk. And then as a faculty of Ahmedabad University, I have this is a composite conference, so I would like to, touch on the composite program that we have. So this is a portfolio we have. So we have electric wheelchairs, different types of walkers, and the prosthetics. So we are working on these things. As this is all we are talking about composites, I am also 20 years in aerospace industry, and I worked a lot on composites, design, analysis, and a little bit of manufacturing in aerospace, but now I'm doing it. So I'm trying to bring composite to all of these products. So making lighter is one thing, making cheaper is another, but to be frank, I must share with you, it's not easy, because going with metal, mass production is much easy, outsourcing is much easy, whereas with composite, it's very difficult. If you're developing something and you want to scale it up, it's very difficult. Because if you're talking of number like 1,000, 10,000, it's still very difficult. In the early phase also, it's very difficult because you spend a lot of money on the mold. But composite has an advantage which I saw, is when you are in the early phase of an innovation, doing a lot of trial and error, you can use composite. So you can try out with composites. Okay, so there are advantages and disadvantages of composite when it comes to small scale applications. I'm just showing few we started with in last 3 years, and these all applications evolved simply upon the request of customers. I mean, I don't innovate something sitting in a isolated place. I talk to people, I meet people, what they need, I develop it. And it's just a customizable solutions that I build. For example, we build a tricycle and we want to make people employable with this solution. So like Swiggy, Zomato, we can provide the vehicle which is electric. All of these are EVs, firstly. So it's easily available thing. Then second one, you see a different form of wheelchair. I saw wheelchair, I spoke to people, why don't they use wheelchairs? There are so many wheelchairs available. Then they say wheelchair simply tags us. It identifies us as disabled. The moment we sit in the wheelchair, we become differentiated from the normal people. We want to be normal. So something which looks normal. So our products are evolving toward needs of disabled people. So we have done several products now. One thing which I want to focus today for next 5 to 10 minutes on the prosthetics or the limbs. So this we built. We started as I'm an academician. When I started, I literally knew nothing. This is what I want to share with some young people if they are there to do a startup. I literally knew nothing. I mean, I did a lot of work for aerospace industry. I'm expert in design and analysis, but did a lot of problems, very complex problems. But when it comes to nitty-gritties, building things, we really lack the confidence and things. So I built the first leg 10 kilos, which I can only carry on my shoulders, I mean, to laugh about it. But then eventually I built something which is 1.5 kilos. And I'm happy with the way I build a prosthetic which is, can be made in a day. I did not use any mold. I have developed my own manufacturing technology which avoids using mold. I have tried it for even a dialysis machine in Bangalore. Not a single mold was used. That technology I want to evolve, but then 3D printing has come, and I think this is a competition. But then while working on this product, something came to me as a different understanding. So I will share it with you. I just put few companies in the market who are leaders in disability. They are selling wheelchairs, food, arm, many things. Autobot, German company, one of the best. Alico is Indian company, doing a lot, supplying, doing great job, supplying to many people. InstaLimb is, you just book your place on the website and you get prosthetics supplied to you at home. So there are many, a big list is there, fortunately. And just listed below a couple of Jaipur Food and Narayan Sansthan, they are giving food for free, artificial limbs, leg cut below knee or above knee. I mean, I wouldn't say, behind the rest of the technology these people have, but they have taken this technology last 30, 40 years. So hats off to them, the work they have done. But now time has come to think beyond. I'm just showing few and then I will put light on what I'm thinking. So this is a kind of, you see, general food or prosthetics given to people who do not have legs. These are variants where this is something below the knee, ankle, below the knee, then completely above the knee, the full prosthetics. We have not, this is not our products, but I put it for reference. Then there is the next thing, exoskeletons, which is basically initially thought that only for people who have legs, but they don't have probably sufficient strength in their legs, like a polio person or a paralyzed person or an elderly person who cannot walk. Only those people can wear this, which is not true. I'm coming to that. But exoskeleton is a solution, alternative to the prosthetics. And then implants. Implants is another which is, growing now with combination of the manufacturing or engineering industry and the biomedical industry, because a lot of studies required in the biomedical things of humans. So these three solutions, what I found is initially I built this foot. So the person loses the leg, let's say above the knee or below the knee, maybe due to gangrene, maybe due to diabetes, maybe due to accident, and then the wound is sealed and the bone and the muscles are there. And then we are trying to fit the prosthetics there. Actually, the human body is not designed to transfer the load in the middle of the body, not directly to the bone. And most of the companies are trying to do that. And exoskeleton came as a separate solution, but then people thought it's only for people who have legs, not for people who do not have legs. So exoskeleton is actually the solution. The combination of prosthetics and the exoskeleton is actually the solution for future. That's what I am working now currently in my startup. We are still in a process of filing patents. So exoskeleton, which basically distributes the load slowly on the body. So starting from the amputated part, then to the little bit upper body and to the entire body. So the way load is transferred has to significantly change. That is the one thing, and that is the direction which we are working. Second thing, exoskeletons which I saw, those are very bulky. I mean, they're trying to make efforts, like especially powered exoskeleton, they're trying to make it lighter, but they're still bulky, ugly, so they need to be slim so that these people look normal, sane. So a lot of work needs to be done. We are working toward that. And this is really the advanced stage. Like I'm dreaming, if some unfortunately accident, somebody goes through accident, he's in the hospital, I think he shouldn't spend any more days, without a leg. Then and there should be a surgery, implant should be put in there, together with the exoskeleton. I think that is the direction we should be working. And there, the technology in all form, material, the mechanisms, the stress analysis, biomedical analysis, all, there is a lot of scope in this direction. Quickly, I will go through the challenges we faced in this sector. The tolerance in measurement. So whenever we are designing this for people, engineers design the technology to build the prosthetic, but how to fit it to a particular person? Somebody is tall, somebody is smaller, bigger, different weights. It's very difficult. People go get it in the one-day workshop for free. They come back and they see that it's not fitting him well. They're just using it because it's free. So tolerance, how you tolerance your designs is a very critical thing which I found. How you interact with the person, how you get the measurements accurately. Because every cut section is different in shape and size and whatever it is there. So how to deal with that? Customization is, subsequently to the tolerance. I mean, different people have different habits of walking, living, sleeping. So what they want, the customization is there, but it is not there. Or whoever is supplying customization is essentially missing. I mean, people take measurements in the workshop and they try to say it is customized, but it is not truly customized. Flexibility versus complexity. You make things more flexible, complexity grows. More complexity, cost grows. Use is, becomes preventive or prohibitive. And of course, maintenance. Somebody, comes from this leg, which is 3.5 lakhs, and the ankle is gone. Now nobody is going to pay for him for replacement of that ankle, which costs 25,000-30,000. So maintenance, repairs, these are challenges. I mean, so we need to address when we design these technologies. Customizable molds could be a technology I'm working toward. 3D printing emerging as one good solution for this domain. Plastic, composite, anything. Of course, I think we need to work on the cracks, delamination, joints, ruptures that these devices come to. Nobody thinks about it. Their job is to deliver, give it, forget it. So we need to think, because when we sell a car, having a service center, every 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, we do servicing. Servicing is an important part of the business. In fact, that's a profitable element. In this case, it is not. There is no service concept for these devices. Whereas service, it is very, very service-intensive sector. Of course, maintenance, repairs, and affordability. Without affordability, this will not survive. It will not stay another day. I mean, this number will keep growing. So affordability we need to work toward. Of course, I just want to close this thing, challenging the people here that, I feel, we talk so much on material, but also on the other side, we talk on AI. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, and also whatnot. I think disability has the maximum potential for exploiting AI technology. If it comes to blind, for example, you need to develop eyes which can directly, connect to the brain, or ears that directly go and sit and work with the cochlea, or human-powered legs, very light, ultra-light, and the walking legs, so that, we don't see disability. So AI is something. Students, if they're not there, but who is listening, I think AI, we should really try to keep disability as a target. So I will close with this. And as I said, I'm a faculty here at Ahmedabad University.